Hey, future Megan here. Just a heads up about my floss tube you're about to see. I wasn't gonna post it because, I don't know, I must have had a smudge or something on my camera that I noticed after I filmed that made things a little blurry, but you can still see the stitching. And second part of the video, there are some bags I'm going through that are super loud, but I decided to post it because I really don't know the next chance I'm gonna have to film. So those of you wearing headphones, you are warned. All right, here's my floss tube. Hello everyone, it's Megan, Stitching Moon, my channel about cross stitch. I am finally back to do a floss tube. It's been over a month and I am just, yeah, it's been crazy. So I have hopefully a half hour or more to do this in while the baby is sleeping. And I just kind of threw things together, so this one might be a little hectic. I apologize in advance for disorganization, but that's just the way it goes right now. So welcome to any new subscribers. I've had a few. If you don't know, I'm living in Norway, but I'm from America. And yeah, since this is in, I am staying put in this location now to film because I asked last time if the lighting was okay and everybody was like, no, stay where you are. We want to see that view. So here it is. I was hoping to film outside today actually on the deck there because we put up some furniture, but a couple reasons not. One, the baby's sleeping like in the room right next to it and he's not been sleeping so good lately, so I didn't want to risk waking him up with talking. And there's been crazy pollen. We saw yesterday in the mountains like blowing puffs of clouds of pollen, like they looked like clouds. It was, yeah, and it's already covered out there, so I also don't want to get my stitching dirty, but yeah, hopefully someday soon I will be sitting out there to show you. So today is what, May 14th. So in the US, I hope you had a happy Mother's Day. Here in Norway, they celebrate it in February, but my family from the US wished happy Mother's Day and delivered some flowers. So yeah, that was nice. For me, it was really more like a work the Mother Day because that day I was so busy just like doing yard work because now we have this big yard, so we get to take care of it. Weeding, and also well, I can go into this in the life update, why I'm so busy. But anyway, I'll go into stitching first. I did not stitch as much as I wanted to, as usual, but I did work on 6 projects, so I'll show you that. And yeah, I have one new start, which is going to be my last new start for a while, but it's a big one. And I mentioned it last time, so I was going to start it actually on Mother's Day, but I wanted to start it early, so I did, which is good because I would not have been able to start it or get any progress on it if I started on Mother's Day. So I did a little bit, and I'll show you that. This is Heaven and Earth Designs Venus, artwork by Clyne. The colors are amazing in this, and I did it because my baby is now, actually he'll be 7 months in a couple days. But yeah, I just fell in love with this. So I am not stitching the background, all of that I am not stitching. And it's a good thing because I went through Pattern Keeper and completed them, marked them as complete. And I actually had to do some more when I started. Yeah, that was more stitches than one of my full coverage pieces, the entire thing. So I'm very glad I made that decision. And I just got fabric that is similar. So I have it in my Q-snap, so I'm not going to pull the whole thing out, but you'll get the gist of it. I haven't been working on it too much lately because as I get started, I'm in the section, I'm starting up in her, yeah, I don't know if you can see that okay, in her horn there. So it's pretty thin, and I have to figure out where the background is and isn't as I'm stitching to reference. So that's a little bit, like, takes more time. It's a little more tedious to get started. So I have not had the energy or time to do that lately. So yeah, I just did what I did. But yeah, so it was completed. I have some info here on my pattern keeper. I didn't write all this down because again, I just did not have the time, but it was 117,000 stitches of background, and there may be more that I haven't crossed out yet, but yeah, which makes it 30.43% done and my furthest along, full coverage by far. So here, oh, in total, it is a big one. It's got 385,000 something stitches. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, so as you can see, this fabric is it's a 25 count even weave. Of course, I totally forgot to write down the name of the fabric so I could tell you. I know I got it on Etsy. I'll have to link that below as to what it's, I think it's mocha. Yeah, it's called mocha. I just have to link yeah, who made it. So sorry for the hanging threads. But yeah, so I got all in here. I had most of the colors in stash. I think I'm missing 2 so far. Hope you can pick up the colors, but yeah, it's already taking shape as the shape of the horn. I am really excited about this one. I'm doing it in 10 stitch, 2/1. I'm out of practice in doing these. Yeah, 2/1, 10 stitch, and someday I will get back to it. But happy to have that started because I've been looking at that one for a long time. Okay. Next, I don't have a lot of space to put all this stuff. Let's see. Next, let's go into my daily piece. I set myself a challenge to do 1 strand per day on this project till it's finished, or for a year, but probably till it's finished. So this is for my daughter who loves the 3 Billy Goats Gruff, and it's by the Prairie Schooler. It's just called 3 Billy Goats Gruff. I like how it just tells the little story in pictures where they're over here, oh no, we're out of grass. So they go across the bridge where the troll is to get to the green grass. The big one bumps the troll off into the water and they live happily ever after. But this guy, the troll doesn't look so scary, and this guy, I kind of feel bad for the troll. He's just sitting there fishing, minding his own business. He's supposed to come up and like try and eat them, right? But anyway, this one has actually been a lifesaver lately because some days I have not had a chance to stitch except for like this 1 strand a day. And normally if I didn't have this challenge, I wouldn't have stitched anything because I'd be like, oh, I just don't have the time. Like, what's the point getting something out and not being able to do much? But because of this, I'm like, oh, I just have to do 1 strand. I can find the time to do that. And I've made a lot of progress. So that has been awesome. I highly recommend doing a 1 strand a day challenge if you're busy and sometimes don't get a chance to stitch. So here I am. There we are. So I've finished up this scene. I wanted to get the like least colorful parts done first. And now finally I've got some color over here, the green, and then the troll coming in. So this has been how many weeks? I'm in I finished 10 weeks, so I'm in week 11 now, but it's Tuesday, so I haven't done much. I still have to do my strand today. And when I first started this, I had done the outline of this Billy Goat completed except for the horns. So that's where and the word 3. That was my starting point. So in 10 weeks, I've done all of that. And just a little 15 to 20 minute a day strand, which again, I wouldn't have stitched anything if I didn't have this on several days. So There was a day where I had to like drive far away for an appointment and wait a little bit in the car. So I brought this and actually caught up. I did maybe 3 strands, 4 in that one day so that I wouldn't have to stitch those other next 3 days because I knew they were going to be busy. So you can also do that. Like if you're like, oh, well, I have a little extra time now, but I'm going to be busy. So I get the next few days strands in, but I don't go past the week. So I take a picture every Saturday to show my progress on Instagram. So I only stitch, if I do that, I only stitch up through Saturday. So I don't really go beyond that. So yeah, hopefully I have a chance to do that today. I should at some point. Anything else? Oh, I was doing it on the everything called for fabric. And that was a lamb's wool linen. Which else? Okay, a 32 count. Sorry. Hang in with me. I do want to say thank you for everybody who's been watching and sticking with me. I used to film every 2 weeks, like all the time, and have a lot to show. And I was organized and had all the numbers and everything. And then I had another baby and started work here in Norway, which, yeah, I'll get back to it. Someday I will be back to my regular stuff. Don't worry. But thank you for hanging in there with me. Okay, next, let's do... I did work on one full coverage that is an easier one to work out that I don't have to have the Q-snap for. And this is actually the one where the background of that new start is bigger than, because this one's like 111,000 stitches. And it was my first full coverage that I started. Children on the Beach. Painting is by Mary Cassatt and charted by Cross Stitch Collectibles. And for those of you who are new, I picked this one because we had this painting hanging up in our house when I was growing up. And this baby looked like me when I was younger, and it sort of looked like my daughter when she was that age. And it's such a like wistful picture, and I've just so been craving working on this in the summer. It's getting lighter and summery now. So I walk by the fjord in the water and we see a ferry go by that looks just like this. The ferries go by and it just reminds me of this, and I just have this urge to work on it so bad. So I've taken this out a couple times when I had a little more time in the evenings. And this one I'm quite far on. Oh, I do want to, I have my Pattern Keeper app up so I can, it keeps turning on me, so I can do it that way. So I don't know how much I stitched, but I did finish a diagonal. Okay, so I'm at 26,871 stitches and it's 24.21%. That is my furthest long full coverage, like for real, not doing the background. So let's see. Here I am. I just like how I'm doing this on 18 count Ada 2/1, and for that, like, I know it's bigger than my usual and most people's usual full coverages, but for this size, I'm loving how it's coming out. Like, it's really good detail still, and it's fun to work on. It's like not a hard, well, I did make a mistake down in this area that I'm kind of half fudging, half frogging, but I think it's okay. But overall, I mean, it's not too much confetti. And let's see, the fairy, I just love it. Oh, it just makes me happy. But yeah, I'm actually starting in now. I finished up that diagonal and I'm starting in her shoulder, her dress now, and this is her shovel. And then I'll eventually, actually now, this next diagonal, I don't know, maybe you'll see part of her face, or maybe it'll just be more hair, but yeah, it's like teasing. I'm like at the edge of everything. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. This will probably come out quite a bit in the summer just because I really just want to work on it. So let me see. Yeah, so I went back to parking. I'd done that at first, then I stopped for a while and just did what was in the diagonal, but now it's just way easier to just follow the thread where it goes as much as I dare, and then I have to park because I am known to make several mistakes. So I don't count like too far away, I just park it so I can move it if I need to. Yeah, love that one. Okay. Next we have my baby blanket for my son. This one I've been working on quite a lot lately. I'm gonna take it out of the hoop because it's just been there and it's easy because it's stamped. And I really do want to have it finished like before his first birthday, which is October. And I'm really liking how it's coming along. And when I first started, I was like, I don't know, but now I'm really, really liking how it's coming out. I love the colors. So I've already done the whole border. Oops. I'll first try and show it all together and then I'll bring it closer. I'm trying to finish up like little sections as I go along, and also obviously backstitching as I go. And that backstitching really just brings it to life. Look at the little star. So cute. And now I'm working on the moon, the hat of the moon. It'll have little polka dots in there. I should probably show you the picture. Hold on. Okay, it's by Tobin Baby. And it's a design by Joan Elliot. So cute. Now this one, well, the blanket's so soft. I hope it doesn't like lose its softness when I wash it, but this has to use 3 strands, which does make it tedious because, and it's big stitches, so I'm constantly changing out threads. But I also, if you can see up close, like the stitches are, or the X's are not like connected with each other, whereas in the picture they are. But when I tried to do that, it just looked really weird. Like they didn't look good. Like I don't know, I tried it like up here in the ribbon. I don't know if you can see it, but my stitches just looked worse. They weren't as like fluffy, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. So I'm just doing it on the actual stamped. I'm not connecting the X's, and I think it looks good like that. And it will use less thread. So that is my baby blanket. I've had him on it a little bit just to like see it and touch it and play with it. So that was cute. He was grabbing it. Okay. So, you know, left my sister. Okay. If you saw my last Flosstube, you'd know I had plans that were like, I would have one project down in the living room to do in the evenings, and then one project up in my sewing room that was a bigger project and get like 1,000 stitches before I moved on. Yeah, that didn't happen. But so the original project that I had pulled for April to have as my living room stitching was one of my own designs of the Boston subway system. And I did do that a lot of April, but I kind of picked up my baby blanket more because this is just not fun stitching. I'm gonna take it out of the hoop. But I did get some new colors in, and I finished up a part of it. So let me show you. This is because I lived in Boston during my internship for about a year, and I was on this so many times because I didn't have a car, and I took to the hospital internship. I took this red line a lot, and I this isn't the whole thing, but I just put in the stops that like I went to or had a meaning for me. So I will be back stitching all of those. But this was just one for me that I did just because, but it's not the most exciting stitching. Oh, I can show you. I do have this in Pattern Keeper, so I can pull up where I'm at. Sorry, my baby has not been sleeping very well at night, so I am tired. Okay, I've done 2,509 stitches, or 48%. Oh, I didn't know it was that far, 48%. But that's only of the crosses, not of the backstitch words, but still. Okay. I think I started at, actually I wrote down maybe? No, didn't write down, but I think I was at like maybe 30%. No, 35 or something percent when I started, so that was decent. Yeah, so here I got in the green line. I'm not done the orange line yet, but I am done the red line. And then I did part of the orange line, and now I'm going to do the green. There's tons of green. And then the orange will go up here as well, and then I have to do blue. But yeah, 48%. That's pretty good. And this is on 22 count hardanger, and it's 1/1 full cross. But that one will go away for a while. Should probably leave out my hoop, actually. All right, next, what is it? Am I at my last one? Yep, one more that I barely got. I barely stitched on it, but it counts. And you might be seeing it more because of now my new thing. Okay, so this is my 13 Moons stitch along. I don't have a cover photo, but it's by Little Stitcher Shop on Etsy. And I mean, this was like, what was it, 2021 stitch along? So I haven't even finished the first block. But it's gonna be beautiful. This is the January moon. It's called the Wolf Moon. So each month she has the moon and like the picture of what that moon is called. So the January moon is the Wolf Moon. And there's 13 instead of 12 because there's a blue moon, which is an extra moon in a month every now and then. So I'll be adding that too. So this was a restart. It was on a lighter fabric. Now I love how this 3865 is popping on here because I just wasn't liking how it blended in too much on the last one. This is from 123 Stitch. It's an Ada 16 count called Mystic. And it's it's like a linen. It's so soft. So I pulled this out because, okay, my daughter sleeps upstairs and my stitching room is right up there. And she's 4 and she has a hard time falling asleep by herself. So normally we stay in there with her, but now that she's getting older, it's taking a lot longer for her to fall asleep. So I'm like, well, I'll try something. So after a little while, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in the next room or the other room and I'll come in and check on you. First, she didn't like the idea. She's like, I'm scared. But here in Norway, now that it's May, it's light out almost all night. So I'm like, it's light. And she's like, fine. So I went in the next room and I'm like, maybe I can just work on a little project. And so this one was really, I needed it to be a paper pattern and something simple because I don't always have my iPad or pattern keeper up there. It's usually somewhere else, not maybe charged, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I was like, well, what's a paper pattern that I can just quickly do? And this is perfect because I print out each little square and it's easy to follow, and I'm just going to keep it up there so that if we keep doing this little routine, I can come out and just stitch on that while I wait for her to fall asleep. So I'm excited about that. Another one where I get little by little progress where I otherwise would get nothing. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of this one. I'm just gonna leave it in the hoop so it's ready to go. Okay. Plans. Okay, so if you might know that some people do what's called SWIWI, which stands for stitch what you want when you want, where, you know, they just want to not make any like specific plans, just kind of do what they feel like. So that's SWIWI, and I decided I need to do stitch what I can when I can, which is SWICKWIC. So that's really my plan because I'm not in a phase where I can follow plans. So yeah, I'm calling it SWICKWIC, and maybe I'll start that as an Instagram because that's how it goes right now. Yeah. Now, I have been on maternity leave for 7 months now, but it's ending in a week. 1 week from today, I have to go back to work. It went so fast, way too fast. When I had my American job with my daughter, I only got 12 weeks. Now I got 33 weeks, but somehow it just feels like it went even faster just because we've been so busy. I have 2 kids now. We moved, starting up a little business thing on the side, and it's just been so crazy. So yeah. And this past month especially has been like the busiest. I feel like, well, partly one, I was sick for 3 weeks. It was horrible. Started out with a cold, and my son and daughter had it too, but just they had a regular cold. And after like 9 days of that, I turned into a sinus infection, and that just lingered forever. Oh, so that was fun. But there have been some fun things too. Like they have a ton of holidays here in May. So on the 1st, they call it, there's like a tradition every year where they have a walk around the fjord, where I am. You can see it behind me. So there's the main fjord, which is like that way, and then this is like a little branch off of that, and they like call it its own fjord even though it's part of the main one. So it's 9 kilometers around, and it's called Esafjorden. Oh, there's kayakers now. So maybe I can like, hopefully this won't make anybody sick, but I'll like show you where we started. I think I'm pointing towards it, like started all the way on that end and then walked all behind me on that road. In there's like also another inlet that you can't see, and then all the way around the other side. So, and they had like okay, where am I? Finish line where, you know, they have a little, everyone, like if you do it the first time, you get a little medal, and every 5 years, I think you get like a trophy or something. It was my first time doing it, and we brought the whole family. We brought the baby, my 4-year-old, my husband. It was actually my daughter's 2nd time doing it, but the first time she was in the stroller. So this time she actually walked and used her little scooter the entire time, and she did so awesome. Like 9 kilometers, like didn't complain, like just had so much energy at the end. She had way more energy than I did at the end, was like running home. She loved it. So that was great. And the baby was just awesome, like in the stroller part of the time, or in our little ergo baby carrier part of the time, and barely made a noise the entire time. So that was nice. Also, yeah, just we've been working a lot on the house. we're having our kitchen redone, and now we don't have a dishwasher that we can use. So for like a month, I have to do all the dishes by hand, and there's not much counter space, which is why we're redoing it. So I live in the kitchen, basically. Oh, yeah, we make so many dishes, it's ridiculous. So I can't wait for that to happen. And just so many appointments for like different people coming to look at different things. And I've also we've had a lot of doctor appointments that were far away. Where living in a small town like this, we do have a doctor, like a regular doctor, and tiny emergency room. But a lot of times you have to travel if you have other specialist appointments, like 1.5 to 2 hours away. So that takes your whole day basically. But yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, other things I don't want to sit here and complain. I'm not complaining, just explaining why things have been busy. But oh, I do want to show you something cool that my daughter did. So I was working on my one strand a day for her project, the Billy Goats, and she knows I'm doing it for her, so she saw me working on it and she wanted to do cross stitch. And so she has some little projects with big needles and yarn and stuff that she can lace through, but she wanted to do it like I was doing it. So I got her some scrap fabric and thread, and she used a real needle, and she made her very first stitching project. Oh, look at it. Yeah, she just did her own thing and she called it unicorns. I have to make sure it's plural. I'm like, oh, unicorn. She's like, no, unicorns. But yeah, so cute. And there's some coming out because she didn't leave enough room to knot it or anything, but I was so proud. She picked her own colors and everything, and then she did another one another day. She wanted to do it again, so it's still in the hoop. And here's her other one. She also called it unicorns. Okay, I'll have to be behind it, so yeah, it's very see-through. But yeah, I'm so proud. It's awesome. I'm just surprised she can sit there enough to do this with a tiny little needle, and she even used the blending filament. I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? The little sparklies. Yeah, you can barely see it, but yeah, so I hope to grow that little interest. Let's see. I think that's about it. I do want to say a thank you to somebody, you know who you are, who bought me a Ko-fi on my link that I have below for just supporting the channel and stitching things. So I just want to let you know how much I appreciate that. It just makes my day, and it's nice to know that people are out there and want to see more of my videos, and of course all the comments and everybody just checking in and sticking with me through this busy time. But eventually I'll be back to doing it more often. Also, I was asked to show I don't know, pictures or videos of the surrounding area. When I posted it on my story as we were walking around the fjord, I posted some videos, and so I was requested to add some on to my video, so I will try and do that at the end here. But I think that's all. Thank you to the baby for staying asleep. It's great. All right, I'm gonna go get some food, and I'll see you later. Bye.